The King, the Princess, and the Tinker by Kindt, McKenzie, illustrated by William Lowe. Chapter 3. The day before Princess Sweet Rosilla's birthday. Now it so happened that the day King John decided to go forth fell upon Princess Sweet Rosilla's birthday. The last time he had gone, she had been too young to know that he was going. But this time, for a princess whose eyes were always wide open except when she slept, she could not help but see that great preparations were underway. It seemed to her that these preparations were something more than usual for her birthday, which was tomorrow. Indeed, as a surprise, the cook was baking a stupendous cake, which would be covered with glossy white frosting and decorated with pink roses and striped candles. Happy Birthday, Princess Sweet Rosilla would be written with all a flourish around the edge of it. Sweet Rosilla could scarcely wait to taste it. Indeed, her brothers had been busy for weeks, secretly making wooden puppets with moving arms and legs. They had also made great puppet theater, a castle with a drawbridge and a throne room, towers and a treasure room, for her to let the puppets play in. Today they were busy wrapping it all in special princess birthday paper. Sweet Rosilla danced with impatience to play with it all. Indeed, the seamstress had sewed her the prettiest dress in the world. It was of a silk patterned with tiny yellow roses and tinier green sprigs of leaves. The seamstress had tried to find a good hiding place for it, but the princess's wide open eyes always saw more than they should. Sweet Rosilla loved the cloth with all her heart and could scarcely wait to wear the dress. Indeed, her own kind governess whispered to the laundress that she had polished up the stories that she had always told to the princess. She had rearranged them so that she could tell her a different one each day of the week, and the princess would never know which one would come on Monday. Stories were what the princess loved best in the world. And though she knew every word of the old ones and would have liked to have new ones, she could scarcely wait to hear which of them would be first. The liveryman and the butler and the laundress all had found special gifts. The princess loved these gifts as dearly as all the rest. Of course, she knew what they were because of her wide-open eyes that saw everything. However, one thing made her a little sad. She loved surprises, but there would be no gift that was a surprise. The only thing as nice as a surprise for your birthday is a secret, she whispered to herself, and she wandered through the castle halls. And I don't have either one. Princess Sweet Rosilla sat on the floor of the upstairs balcony, her legs dangling beneath the balusters, and watched the wall washer wash the last corner of the castle wall. Now the entire castle had been scrubbed and polished, and the curtains had been washed and ironed, and the dust had been shaken from the tapestries. And they've done a lot of cleaning. Must be for my birthday, she thought. She went outside and saw that every one of the 5,000 foot soldiers had shiny new boots. She watched the soldiers polish those boots until they gleamed like black glass. Was this for her birthday too? They had never polished their old boots for any birthday that she could remember. Perhaps there was a secret surprise awaiting her, one that she didn't know about. The soldiers never had new boots before, she said to the general. Did they get them to help make my party nicer? Are they polishing them because it's my birthday? No, he told her. They have them because they will need them tomorrow when they must march away and then march back again. They couldn't go in their old boots because the soles were so worn that the soldiers had to tie the tops of their boots to their feet with string and walk barefoot underneath. Then the general put his mouth to her ear and whispered, They didn't have new ones before because all of the money for buying boots was in the royal treasury. But just this morning the king himself gave me the money from the royal treasury for new ones so the soldiers could make the long march. The whisper sounded so like a secret that it made Princess Sweet Rosilla's eyes grow wider yet. And why must they make a long march, she asked, also in a whisper. Perhaps they were going to take her with them for a surprise, she thought. Your father is going forth to look at his country, the general told her. If they were barefoot, the soldiers would not be able to keep up with him to protect him from unlawful eyes. I myself had to ask the king for the coins to buy the boots. It did not make him happy to part with some of the royal treasure, but he understood that it must be. However, he wants the soldiers to take care of their boots, for he paid dearly for them, with 9 coins. Woe to the soldier who scuffs the toes, the general said, using the king's exact words, for if he does, I will have him beheaded. This the soldiers know, and they are going to take extra special care not to wear out their boots, the general added. That is why they are polishing them even while they are still new. Though she was glad that the soldiers had new boots to march in, Princess Sweet Rosilla was the tiniest bit disappointed. They were not going to take her with them, and the new boots were not for celebrating her birthday. She looked at her own scuffed shoes. It would be nice to have new ones. Her father had never given her a birthday present. Perhaps this time he would. Perhaps he would give her new shoes too. But what if she scuffed them? A lovely shiver went down Princess Sweet Rosilla's back, and she decided at once that she loved her old ones more than she would ever love her new ones. Then the general tickled her with his chin whiskers and asked her to forgive him, for he could not come to her birthday party the next day. It makes me unhappy to miss so important an occasion, he told her sadly, but I too must guard King John on his journey. I shall try my best to find something special to bring back to you. This would be a surprise, but Princess Sweet Rosilla would much rather have the general and the 5,000 foot soldiers at her birthday party. She was sorry they would not be there to taste the cake. So even with the promise of something special, she remained the tiniest bit unhappy herself. She also felt the tiniest bit restless. She could not help but think what a wonderful adventure it would be to see the country. And that's the end of chapter 3.